Hey, it's Allie Edwards, and welcome back to another Project Life spread for 2024. This is week 24, and one of the things that I've been playing around with is just different things to do inside and outside of the pockets. And for this one, I had two craft envelopes with journal cards inside of them from some past kit that I had pulled out and had in my bridge storage, and decided to see if I put them together if they would both fit in a pocket. And they do, and it's so cute. And so I taped the back of it, the back of those two craft pockets together, and that's going to give me two journal cards that will fit inside of a 4x6. What I wanted to show you guys here, and part of the reason why I left this in, is to just see the different paths that are possible and available. Currently, I am pulling out chipboard from my stash and just kind of running through scenarios, running through possibilities, looking at different things that could be added directly onto the photos. I did add in a People Who Love to Eat card. That's from our foodie story play kit. And then the other journal card, the one that has the ing words on it, I actually had put that together during my stash class when I was talking about, going through your journal cards, and I had just put that one together because I felt really inspired at that moment in time. And this was actually during this particular week. So I did some in the moment journaling that I had in my pockets along with the photos. So that's how I ended up bringing it over to my table. I had a little bit of journaling done already. So I had a few pockets to fill in. One I chose to fill in with the sentiment card there from the foodie kit. And then I'm still kind of playing around and looking at my chipboard. I did have a couple details tabs that were chipboard tabs that I'm going to use and attach to the journal cards that go inside of those craft pockets. And then I dove into my stash of journal cards to find a pattern card that could go behind the title. So I've got that big ampersand card there. And then I initially pulled out a Moments to Remember journal card, and I'm going to end up switching that out for a sentiment card here in a minute. I'm still taking a little bit of time to go through looking at some of the things in my stash, different things I'm considering adding on to those craft pockets. I wasn't sure if I wanted them to be the same. Did I want to use chipboard sentiments? Did I want to use fabric pieces? And so I left all of this in just so you guys could see some of the different options and different things that I thought through before I settled on my final decision that you'll see in a couple minutes here. Basically, I just started going through different things. I was like, what does it look like if, maybe I just have one thing that goes across both of those pockets. And that was what I ended up deciding, that yes, I did want to just do one thing that went across both pockets. So I considered adding a plastic word, and then I was looking through some of my other things in my stash. And one of the things I looked at was this giant details tag. This would have been in one of the previous Stories by the Month kits this year. And I know I've seen people looking for ideas for using some of those bigger elements within a Project Life spread. And I think this is kind of a fun way to play around with that. One of those bigger tags on top of two pockets that you might also have in your stash. So let's see, moving right along here, I did end up pulling off the journal card because I decided that I could do the majority of the journaling in those craft pockets. So right now I'm just looking for a sentiment card. I'm also looking a little bit, when I was looking through those sentiment cards, I was looking for something that might bring that blue color in to the first page. So when I saw the Basics of Now card, which is from a past story kit, I was like, that's perfect because it brings in a little bit of the teal that's on that big details card, and it still has some of the green that I'm playing around with in the other pictures, or just the green that's naturally represented in those photos. I am stamping the date on here. I actually stamped the date wrong. On here I put July. It's because I'm doing multiple spreads at one time. It's actually June. I go back and fix that in another project that you may see later on. I just add a label sticker on top and then restamp the date. One of the things that I also had in my bridge storage was something I think I had cut out from a card in the nature story kit and then ended up not using the particular thing that I had cut out. So I decided it would be a good spot to bring it in here. It's essentially just a half circle that talks about being outside or finding me outside or something like that. And I felt like that was a good, could be a really good home for some additional context that I could add on there, that I could handwrite on there. And I am using two halves or two of the halves from that circle. Adding a little bit of rolling adhesive to the back of this big details tag. I did also put a little mini brad on there. I'm going to go ahead and X one of those boxes there in a little bit. Here are the two journal cards with the details chipboard tabs. Those were just from my chipboard stash. I'm going to use my tiny attacher to staple those in place, and I really liked just that they would be sticking up out of the pockets so that you could tell a little more clearly that I have journaling inside of those pockets. This is a great way to do some hidden journaling too, if you had a story that was maybe something that you didn't want to have out and available as somebody was flipping through, but if they took a little bit more time to open it up, maybe then that would be okay as well. All right, adhering those half circles down. Again, those are hand cut. I didn't have a punch that was that exact size, so there it's a little of an imperfect cut around the outside. I'm using a brush pen. This is a Micron pen. That's a brush pen. It's a permanent marker. I was recently looking for a permanent brush pen just as an option to the Kuretake one that I've been using. Gonna add another one on the other side here and add a little bit more, a couple words onto there. The top one says Betty Walk at Pisgah, and this one's gonna say, I think, Backyard Hangout. Again, just a little bit of context, right? It's not telling the whole story. I've got a variety of different pieces of different stories from this particular week in and around and on labels and in pockets and all of those things. A couple weeks ago in one of my Project Life spreads, I really liked how I used the brush pen for a title on my journaling and then ended up adding additional journaling below. So I'm going to do that again on here. We did some yard cleanup at Chris's parents' house with Simon and Anna and some of the other family members. So I'm writing a little bit about that and then also writing just a little bit about Father's Day, which was a day that we made Japanese meal that I really like and we really like around here called shabu shabu, and that's what the picture is on the bottom there. So for journaling on this one, then I'm using a Lumacolor permanent pen and just adding in just some basics about being there. This is a picture of Simon and Anna that I have used in another project, I think. I did a traditional layout that included this picture because I really liked it. Again, reminder that you can use pictures in multiple places, that one photo can tell lots of different stories, and you might want to have it in your weekly spread, and then you might want to blow it up and do something else with it for a different kind of project. So that is always available to you as well. One of the things when I am working on these projects that I am always thinking about is I love the invitation to do all kinds of extra stuff if you want, or keep it really simple. This one is simpler than the previous one that I did, and the next one that I'm going to do might be simpler than this, or it might be more complicated and have more layers and all those things. It's just fun to get to do a variety of things, and I think that I'm really loving the 9x12 size. In the past I did 12 by 12 and I liked that for many, many years too. But there's something about the fact that this doesn't have room for like 7 days of the week in terms of, every single day. It's giving me an opportunity to do more of an overview than feeling like I needed to do have each day represented. I'm not sure if that's making any sense because I still am kind of having each day represented, but I just feel more free in this size to play around, and that could just be the season of life that I'm in as well. I also was going to add a couple little chipboard pieces that I pulled out when I dove into my chipboard stash. I'll add those directly onto a couple of the photos. Simon and I went and saw the movie If, which was super cute. Adding that on there, and then I have one more up on the top corner where I did some space buns because that was fun. Got a little picture of that there as well. All right, guys, as always, let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you back here again soon.